Hello everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the transit of Uranus, which is leaving the sign of Taurus and moving into the sign of Gemini for the next 8 years. Uranus is a planet of big and sudden changes, surprises, higher dimensional frequencies, freedom, and many other things. We're going to go through it sign by sign and talk about how it might affect you in your sign, and then we're also going to clarify with a couple of tarot cards from the HAMSA. Before we get started, my name is vickieverlie, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. Do not be fooled by imposters. While you're on my website, be sure to explore the different things that I offer, including custom art, and check out my books and decks and all the things that I offer, in addition to personal readings, because I am a seasoned professional reader with nearly 40 years experience. I started reading professionally in the late 80s. In addition to that, please, if you haven't checked out my channel and you're interested in learning more about metaphysics in general and how metaphysics tie into creativity, check out my YouTube channel, The Rock and Roll Prophetess, which you're watching right now, because there's many videos on there just exploring all sorts of different topics that might interest you besides just the tarot and astrology readings. If you enjoy my content, I would appreciate it if you hit the like, subscribe, and hype buttons so that my content could be shared throughout the YouTube universe to more people, okay? So without further ado, we're going to go sign by sign. There'll be timestamps in the bottom where you can scrub through in the video, but also whatever sign we're reading will always be displayed down here in the bottom left. So the first sign that we're reading, oh, by the way, too, I'll put a link. I did another video on this because Uranus was did go into Gemini last year, actually from July through November of last year. And I did do another video back then, but I think this video you could certainly watch that, and I'm not going to do more historical stuff. I did some historical stuff at the beginning of that video, so you may want to go check that out. But I think that this video will offer us a fresh perspective, as we've already experienced it a little, and I didn't go back and watch the other videos, so hopefully you'll get fresh and new information in this video. So without further ado, let's go right into the sign of Aries. Okay, Aries, this is in your third house of communication. And the sign of Gemini, this is one of the things that Uranus in Gemini is really going to be accelerating. And if you think it's been crazy already with the AI and how fast things are moving and all the information and everything, it's going to be even more fast now. So taking in information, learning new knowledge, things could be really changing in your neighborhood too, in the places that you live. Let's go ahead and get 2 cards for our Aries friends for the Uranus ingress into Gemini. We've got the Ace of Wands, so that's planting seeds for new beginnings, and then the 8 of Cups, which is moving on from a situation that no longer serves you. You know, it's interesting because I'm filming this actually on the day of the new moon in Aries, and this is a lunar thing, and you're having a new moon. It's actually going to be, you know, roughly a week or so, I think, before the Uranian ingress, but maybe on this new moon in your sign you might plant the seeds and you could see the fruition start to happen, or maybe you're getting your ideas, because this is about ideas being planted and then they're growing and blooming forward. So, but it looks like, you know, there's many other astrological things going on for you, Aries. You have Saturn in your sign, Neptune in your sign. I've done multiple videos on that, and if you want to dive into it for your personal chart, we could look at it through a reading, personal reading. But overall, for the general outlook for, you know, the collective Aries energy, this is the time to plant the seeds. And, you know, that new moon in your sign, by the way, which is on the, is it the 17th? Or it's today, I don't even know what day it is. Yeah, the 17th. I'm recording it on the Aries new moon. You know, always, every year, this is your astrological new year, you know, for everyone. Your new moon in your sign, it's not January 1st, it's not, you know, it's going to be your new moon, or on your birthday, your solar return, excuse me. So you're planting your seeds, and the seeds that you're planting are going to be blossoming, and it's going to allow you to move on to something that's become a drag or a burden or emotionally draining, I want to say. Another thing I would take note of in these cards, if you'll take a closer look here, she's also holding that staff. So it's not a stagnant energy. This is planting the seed, and then this is gathering the staff and walking on and moving forward. And it's not a stagnant energy. And this Gemini energy is really going to help accelerate and propel you towards moving towards the future. Okay, next we're going to take a look at the sign of Taurus. So Taurus, this is in your second house of money. So you could have unexpected, surprising things happen in your financial arena, unexpected job offer even perhaps, financial opportunities, something that comes up on a whim. If you wanted to try to like play some kind of games of chance, I would definitely let the computer pick the number, you know, get an auto pick or a quick pick, or, you know, if it's Keno or lottery or something like that. Leave it to chance or leave it to fate. And of course you want to stay within your means, but this could be a time where some fluky thing through a computer or something could really help you. Also, I would be backing up all my files and everything too. I should have told that to Aries. That's a message for everybody. Go through and back up those files, because there could be these quirky computer things. You may want to be really free from your source of income, and a different source of income could present itself or show up for you at this time. Let's get 2 cards. Oh, you have the Ten of Cups as your first card. That's beautiful energy. And then the Magician. Well, you're going forward as a team, as a family, as a unit. The Ten of Cups is actually reaching some sort of pinnacle of success, pinnacle of happiness, joy, elation, my guides are saying. So it's something that, for some of you, you may be getting involved in a relationship, you may be getting married, but if you're already in a relationship, this could definitely talk about you're just in that good vibe time. You know, you're just in a time where things are really flowing. Even how this goes, you know, it has that arc, you know. And if you remember biorhythms, I don't know if people really use that anymore, but there used to be, biorhythms used to be a thing. And basically it's just this up and down, things go in peaks and valleys, up and down, up and down. So when the Ten of Cups is here, we're definitely in an up cycle, okay? For some of you, it could be that the Pentacle on here is really standing out, which is the money, and it is in the money house. Some of you, maybe you or your spouse or even one of your children, if they're grown, could land that dream job that you've been going after, and it's going to allow you to go forward. The Ten of Cups is also keeping the romance and love out of it. It doesn't always have to pertain to that. It is the Ten of Cups. Cups is emotions, love, happiness, joy. The 10 is the most of all of those things. So some sort of joyous thing that that's going to leave you feeling really empowered, and that you can conquer the world. That's what my guides are saying. All right, Taurus, don't forget to check your sun, rising, moon if you want to contact me for a reading. Always through my website. Be wary of social media imposters. Next, we're going to take a look at the sign of Gemini. Okay, Gemini, so this is in your sign. So this is going to be a really transformative experience. This is going to be a very elevated energy coming into your sign. But I think that you're very well equipped for it, you know, because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, which is your ruling sign. I know that's a lot of astrology. Some people get a little thrown off by that, but just trust me. You're kind of already swimming in that soup. You're kind of already in that energy as it is, and this is just going to elevate it to the next level, bring it to a higher dimension, take it to a higher level. Insights, flashes of brilliance, you know, these types of things. Definitely a streak of wanting to be free. Wanting to be free of anything that you feel is boxing you in or you feel like is a constraint. Let's go ahead and get 2 cards for Gemini. 8 of Cups, I think Aries had that card too. Came out on the cut. And then the 2 of Wands. Well, you're ready to leave something behind. And it's not surprising, because Uranus is all about being freed from anything you feel shackled to or held down by. And, you know, you're coming out of a transit of the Uranus going through your 12th house. So many Geminis are shedding their skin and being released from a lot of things. You're ready to move forward. Now, this is the card 8, but she has, I noted it on the other sign where she has the one staff in her hand, and then it moves to the 2 staffs. This is a great card too, because this is a card of, you're only at the beginning phases of it, and it's a 2, like a Roman numeral 2 is your symbol too, so I feel a connection or an affinity with that. But you're looking forward towards the future, and you have the world in your hand. That means that you could really have it all. You know, that it could be bigger, better, more than you ever anticipated. The sun is also rising, so this is a new day dawning. A new day dawning, ooh, crystal blue suasion. If you've never tuned into my, my channel before, my guides come through with music and song all the time, and I'm a lifelong musician, so I do occasionally break into song. Usually I do, actually. So that's just part of the whole, it's nothing planned, it just is a spontaneous thing that happens. Okay. So, but, you know, you're looking towards the future and you're making your plans. And you, with this world, I feel like you can go further than you ever have gone before. Really. It's really a great energy for you. Okay, next we're going to take a look at the sign of Cancer. Well, Cancer, this is in your 12th house. Now, you have Jupiter in your first house for another couple months until the end of June. I bring it up every reading, I think, for you guys, because it's important. So you have this natural, you're drawing this natural abundance. The Uranus in the 12th is showing you what you need to release in order to fully step into the Jupiter energy of the abundance that is there. So what are you releasing? What are you letting go of? You may have brilliant ideas. Another thing that the 12th house represents is things from the past. You could have revive something from the past that was, the time wasn't right in whenever you worked on it before or had the idea before. Something could totally from the past come circle around again, and it's the timing is right. Again, when this comes up, I always think of, you know, the internet and how far we've gone. Like, for instance, I always use this example. What if you wanted to try to build a website, you know, years ago? It was hard. You had to learn HTML code, and it was hard even with a WYSIWYG editor. You know, it was a lot of browbeating work. I mean, believe me, I did it for a living, well, part-time living. I built a lot of websites for people back in the day. And, you know, and I did several websites for myself, too. And it was tedious and hard and not fun, okay? It was headache-inducing, okay? But now, you know, websites are super easy. It's all AI-driven. You just upload your images and boom, boom, boom. You know, you could build a website in an afternoon. So it could be something like that. The other thing is, with the Uranus in the 12th, it could be somebody or someone coming back from the past, a person. You could have a surprise encounter with somebody. Let's see what the cards have to say for Cancer. Magician, that was out in another reading as well. These are coming out in the cut, and I'm shuffling too. Magician and Justice. So these are both major arcana too. I want to point that out because major arcana cards pack a bigger punch. You know, they have more power and energy. And these are both major arcana. And these are both moving forward. They both have this thing, you know, moving. He's got his hand extended with the wand and the sword extended upward, so it's like full steam ahead. Charge, charge. You know, that's what's coming through. Charge. Oh, I forgot to mention about I will have a video for the Derby too, but I forgot to mention. I'll talk about it later. But anyways, so Justice could be some kind of legal thing for sure if you're involved in something like that. You know, in the 12th house, that could be something that you sign, like some class action suit that you signed up for maybe even 8 years ago when this was in the 11th, you know. It's like I have a whole big envelope full of those, you know. Sometimes they pay out $1 or $10. You know, I'm not going around trying to get involved in class action suits. You know how you get these little postcards in the mail or something, or now it's email, you know. Oh, you purchased this thing, well, there's a class action suit. The only thing you have to do is to opt out if you don't want to be in it. So I just throw it in the folder, you know. It's like, well, maybe someday there'll be some money coming from this. So it could be something like that. I feel like that's really strong for a lot of people. For others of you, it could be some legal matter that's been dragging on and on and on, and it could quickly wrap up here. For others, you could find out some sort of inheritance because this is your ancestors in your past. You may find out some kind of inheritance. Whatever it is, there could be legal things involved, but you are the magician. You are making things happen with that Jupiter in your sign. You are pushing forward, moving forward. You are conquering the world, my guides are saying. All right, Cancer, well, I'm always available for personal readings if you want to dive into your exact energy. But next, we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. Hello, Leo. This is going to be happening. Gemini is in your 11th house. So this is friends, associates, these types of things. Groups that you belong to, hopes, wishes, and dreams, money from the career. You know, but it's up there at the top of your chart. It's been at the top of your chart. So some of you could really be experiencing a big career change, depending on when Uranus goes over the midheaven. Because the midheaven is up here. Oh, I'm mistaken, 11th house. No. But I did pick that up, so I'm going to stick with that. I do feel like there could be a career change. Perhaps by a group of people that you are going to be getting involved with or that you want to know. You know, somebody What am I hearing? You ought to know. Ooh. You ought to know. Alanis Morissette's coming through. Yeah, so there's some people that you ought to know, and Uranus could totally be bringing them into your spectrum, into your reach, where you can meet them. You know, Uranus is also the internet and the electronic age that we live in now. So you may meet them, you know, through some kind of, you know, online group or something. It doesn't even have to be in person. It could be something that you meet through technology, or maybe you're going to join a community, online community, something like that. But I do feel like you could get there could be surprises that come through. If you're attracted to something like that, I would definitely follow through with it, and there could be some exciting and surprising things that come through that you didn't see coming but turn out to be awesome. Okay, we have the Strength card, but that has your Leo energy on it, has the Lion on it. And then your card. So you're showing up here twice. You're representing twice. In the Strength card with the Lion, and then the Queen of Fire, that's a representation of you regardless of gender. So it's, you know, you could really use, I mean, you're well liked anyway. That's the thing that came through for me on this. Like, you're really well liked. People like you in this group. They're welcoming you to, you know, they think you're cool. You think they're cool. You have a lot in common. What a Strength, though, is a card of having patience and hanging in there and waiting. Now, it could be something that you have been waiting for, and the Uranus is just the change in energy you need to propel things forward. But, you know, honestly, because, well, there is an Aries new moon. I'm actually recording this on the 17th, the Aries new moon, a week before this transit. Could be that. But really what I'm kind of feeling, that like something that's initiating now, it may not come into the full fruition until we get to your birthday season, okay? And that's going to be the end of July and August, of course. Also at that time, speaking of that time frame, end of July, August, that is when Jupiter is going to move into your sign, so that you're in for a really lucky and abundant year coming up, starting on your birthday this year. If you want to dive into that more, you can always go to my website and order a reading, or peruse my channel for other interesting videos. Thanks for watching. Check your rising sun, rising moon. Next, we're going to look at Virgo. Okay, Virgo, you have the Uranus in the 10th. So highly likely some sort of career change. More so what I'm getting, though, is exposure. Like somebody's going to see, some of you could have some kind of viral thing on the internet. Somebody sees your post goes viral, or, you know, a big audience all of a sudden is noticing what you're doing, and then it's propelling you upward through you know, to the next level, to a higher echelon, is what my guides are saying. Also, regarding career, your life goals, you may stumble on something through electronic media, maybe even through YouTube, maybe through this reading even, where it's like, oh wow, it could like really ring a bell or really resonate with you. And, you know, it could be life-changing. 10th house is the top of your chart, of our chart. It is the career, but it's also our visibility in this world, what we're shooting for. You know, it's a very prominent house. So there could become some prominence to you as well. There's going to be more eclipses in your sign too. So again, that's something we would check out in a personal reading. But let's see here. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Love that. I always say I didn't put Wheel of Fortune on my deck cover of my Rock and Roll Tarot. Oops. I put it on the cover of my Rock and Roll Tarot deck for a reason. Because it does attract luck, abundance, all these things. This is also a very cyclical thing. And look at Uranus is up at the top of your chart. When things are down, you know, when the wheel is down, things are down, and when the wheel is up, things are up, you know. So when it's up and the Uranus is at the top of your chart, things are on the uptick, things are on the upturn. And it does look like it could be bringing you some money. And I always say the pages are the young dudes who carry the news. All the young dudes carry the news. So the news coming about money, and Gemini is also, the sign of Gemini is also Mercury ruled, so news, communication, and so on, where Uranus is. And it's going to be squaring all your Virgo stuff too, so squares make things happen. But yeah, it looks like some news about money. I mean, this could be a win too. If you do play, you know, like to play some games of chance, don't go overboard, of course. But, you know, you might want to play a couple bucks on a lottery or something like that. You can maybe win with Wheel of Fortune and Page of Pentacles, yeah. Or get called out or picked in some kind of a contest or something. All right, Virgo, if you want to look at your sun, rising, and moon, and I do have another video, I'll post a link at the end that I posted last year for further information. Next, we're going to look at the sign of Libra. Well, Libra, this is in your 9th house. So Uranus going through your 9th. It's spiritual aha moments, having these big awakenings. Solving, my guys are saying, solving life's problems and mysteries. So things that have plagued you or patterns that you've been stuck in, you could be all of a sudden become aware of it. It's like, oh, wow, I'm doing that. Or, oh, wow, yeah, I see, like things are unraveling, but not, I mean, it could be unraveling. Uranus energy can be unraveling. That's an interesting choice of words. But I feel it's unraveling in the most positive way. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, this thing was always this, I always got stuck with this obstacle that I was trying to overcome, and I always hit this brick wall, and it could just be a big breakthrough. Through your own recognition or your own awareness, by having, oh, because, oh, I'm doing that, I do that. And then it could be, Uranus could flip things in an instant, you know, so you could have this instantaneous awareness that could really change your life. Okay, you have the 3 of Wands, that's your ships are coming in, great card, followed by the Knight of Pentacles. So Knight of Pentacles is an earth sign or earth sign energy, a Taurus, a Capricorn, or Virgo. We are going to be in the season of Earth as of when this happens. We'll be in a Taurus season. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll be moving into Taurus season as of the 19th, which is a couple days after I'm recording this video, and then the 25th, so 1 week from there, less than a week, we'll be moving into Earth sign energy. So ships are coming in, but also the Knight of Pentacles is another bringer of prosperity, abundance, and money. So could be some kind of, the 3 of Wands is very much associated with success, money, achievement too. So you've been doing something, you've been planning something, and now you can see your ships coming in. This could be an actual person who perhaps either coming in the time of Taurus, which that'll be, you know, the end of April, May, or, you know, somebody who is bringing the money. When I was going to say bringing the money, I stopped there for a minute because I was hearing bringing in the sheaves, we will come rejoicing. Ooh, I'm out of key. It's bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. I haven't sung that song forever, in more than 50 years, probably 55 years. I haven't sang that song, so that's why I don't know it. Bringing in the sheaves, we will come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. I'm not even sure what sheaves are. It seems like it's harvest, isn't it? Wouldn't that be, I'm just going to look it up really quick, so I could, because I'll forget about it if I don't look it up. Oh, I'll forget about it. Bringing in the sheaves meaning. Good old AI. A biblical metaphor, bringing the joyous gathering of spiritual rewards. Oh, I see. I did not know that. Specifically converting people to faith, harvesting souls. Well, I don't try to convert anybody to anything, you know. Your beliefs are your own, you know, but you could go through some transformation like that, because that is the 9th house, is a spiritual house. But I'm feeling like bringing the sheep, reaping the harvest in a physical manner, you know, something like that, probably more likely for most. All right, well, hey Libra, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check your rising moon if you want to dive into a personal reading only through my website. Don't be fooled by imposters. Next, we're going to look at the sign of Scorpio. I feel like I have to clear the energy. All right, Scorpio, you're up next. Let's see here. So this is 8th house for you. This is a money house, okay? There could be some surprise money from somebody else, because this is you, right? Here's you, and then over here is the other person. And this is your money, and this is the other people's money, or the joint finances. So could be through you, could be if you're in partnership, it could be through your partner, but that you could also reap the benefits and reward. It's also a house of inheritance. There could be somebody passing on. More than likely, it would be somebody much older that it wouldn't be, you know, that, and you could receive a surprise inheritance. But it is, and changes in money. You may decide a wealthy investor could step up, or somebody, if you are producing things like art or music, like a collector, somebody could, you know, or a sponsor, you know, somebody like that could show up and be wanting to back you or support your endeavors, you know. Let's do 2 cards for Scorpio. News coming in the time of fire, and 10 of Cups. Nice. Well, somebody's sure going to be happy about something. I'm getting a song. I'm so happy when I'm with you. Tell me we can live. Make me smile. I think that's Chicago, maybe. I'm not sure. It's kind of a 70s tune. But anyways, getting news about something that's going to be Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is the most happiness, the most joy, the most fulfillment, love, happiness, joy. And news is coming. Now, this is, I always use this as news, the messengers, all the young dudes carry the news, yeah. And if you're watching this before the, before we hit that date of the 25th or 26th, this could be while we're still in Aries season. So if you're watching this when it first comes out, this upcoming weekend, we're still in Aries season, and this 17th, we are in a Aries new moon, because that's that fire sign energy. A lot of times I'll read this as Leo, though, too, because he wears that sun medallion. So it might be, you know, until we get to Leo time. But the news of it is coming now, sooner. Now, note that he is a younger person, and there are younger kids on here, too. So if any of you have children or grandchildren, this could also be something great for them. Maybe they've got that scholarship, or they got into that private school, or they got that school voucher, and you're just happy. It's like, oh, I don't have to pay that tuition, or that's so great for them. You're just, it doesn't always have to necessarily tie to money, but it does seem news, and then everybody's happy. It's happiness for the whole family. It's not a singular thing just for you, whatever this good news is and the surprise. It's going to be an affect, you know, the whole family. All right, Scorps, I'm always available for personal readings. You can check out my website only. That's the only way to order. Plus, I have art. And check out my channel if you're interested in metaphysics. There's all sorts of interesting videos on my Rock and Roll Prophetess channel. I'd love it if you subscribed and hyped and liked. All right, Sagittarius, you're up next. Now, this is in your 7th house of partnerships. So I just went through this transit because I have suspected spam is chiming in. So if I don't know if you heard that, I had it on buzz. But anyways, so I have Scorpio rising, so I'm ending a Uranus in my 7th house, not video, but transit. So it's very fresh in my mind. And, you know, Uranus is surprising. Well, it was very surprising. I just figured it out what it was. Because you think, well, here's the traditional stuff. You could meet somebody. You could get married. You could get divorced. It's going to affect your personal relationship. I had a friend with Scorpio rising when this first started up. She was so worried about her husband. She kept thinking her husband was going to die, and he didn't die, but he retired. So so the situation with her husband changed dramatically, because instead of him being at work all the time, he was home every day under her feet. So, you know, it brings about big change. But for me, it was none of that, because I was getting to the end of it, and I'm just like, well, my relationship status didn't change, you know. And I was like running down the list of, you know, typical things. And what had happened is there's a person who is, I don't really want to give this person any kind of, you know, acknowledgement, because they're definitely looking for negative attention. But there was a person that I interacted with nearly on a daily basis. And they were just doing all this bizarre thing, like really like harassing me, honestly, you know. And stalking, kind of harassing me. And that was my Uranus in the 7th. So hopefully that has toned down quite a bit, and it's coming to an end. But it just hit me. I go, oh my God, that's my Uranus in the 7th. I see it. And very Uranian, very bizarre behavior. You know, really, really bizarre behavior. And harassing me and just bothering me all the time. So, you know, it can go either way. But hopefully for you it won't go that way. But, you know, just be aware. It's going to be somebody that you're interacting with. And this person is not at friend. Because here's another thing. Uranus, as 7th house rather, is open enemies. I usually don't go there or bring that up. But it is. And I guess I could consider this person open. I wish I wouldn't have any enemies. I mean, I don't set out to have any enemies in life. But after what I've been through with this person, yeah, I would say the open enemy fits pretty tightly good there. So, you know, hopefully that's not the case. The thing is, if I could go back 8 years and talk to my 8-year-ago self when this all that's about the time it started too, interestingly enough, I would say do not interact with them. Because at first I would try to reason with them. I'm going, you know, trying to be nice and reason with them and, you know, make them understand that this is bizarre and weird and you need to back off and stop it in a nice way. And that got me nowhere. You know, I would have chopped it off right at the beginning, or even called, you know, got authorities involved right away. You know, that's what I should have done. And not, you know, don't beg and plead and try to make them, you know, don't try to, if it's something like that, being nice isn't getting you anywhere. That's what I learned. It didn't get me anywhere. So, You know, it's just cut it off and be done with it. It's going to make you aware, and if it's negative, get rid of it. But hopefully for most of you, it'll be positive. Okay, so let's go ahead and see 2 cards here. Page of Swords and a soulmate. See, a soulmate, it looks like for you guys, a lot of it is going to be a soulmate energy. Well, again, though, our soulmates are not always our besties. You know, a lot of the people that are antagonists and whatever are soulmates as well. But air sign energy, I'm trying to think if there's any air energy. I can't think of anything. But, you know, air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So, well, is there any air sign energy? Hello? Uranus is going into Gemini. There's the air sign energy. Hello, McFly. Yeah, so, but anyways, news is coming, and it's going to bring in a soulmate energy for many of you. This could also be a younger person, so it could be, you know, a child that you're interacting with, a newborn child, or a child that comes into your life, but it for sure can be a romantic relationship. I keep wanting to focus on this being a child, so even if it's not a child, maybe it's your childhood sweetheart, you know, and all of a sudden they show up. You know, the Uranus is, you know, internet and everything, so maybe you find them on social media. That happens all the time. People, when Facebook first came out, people were leaving their lives behind and running off with their, you know, you've heard the stories, right? They run off with their high school sweethearts. So that does happen, but it does feel really nice energy for the majority, you know. Your relationship status will probably change. And it looks like for the better there. All right, Capricorn, so this is going to be in your 5th house of children, creativity. Oh, excuse me, not correct. This is going to be, I have it a little slanted. It's going to be in your 6th house of work, health. So many of you will want to quit the job. This is a good time to quit anything. Quit's maybe not a best word, but be released from anything that's been holding you down in regards to work and health. So again, for most, I feel like as Capricorns, many of you, you know, you're workaholics, so it might be work-related. So you may go into a completely different line of work. For others, this could be, you know, what was I thinking? Oh, a health thing. Like if you've been trying to quit smoking, or you want to get off sugar, or you want to, you know, anything that you want to be released from, like an addictive behavior that's affecting your health, this would be a great time to do that. You could probably do that, you know. So being freed from these types of things, sometimes Uranus, you know, it'll free you for you. So if you're feeling the push or feeling that urge, it's better to take the initiative on your own rather than the universe ripping your life apart. Okay, we have King of Cups, water sign energy, and Tower. Ooh. Well, you know, King of Cups is here. I feel like King of Cups is the answer. It's funny that I brought that up. I didn't bring that up with anybody else, but it is true for all signs wherever this is affecting you. If you don't wanna, if you don't want to let go, you're trying to hold on, the universe will just say, guess what? This is gone now. Now what are you going to do? You know. So you could be having a Tower moment. Something is culminating. Something. Maybe you're going to have a blowout at work. Maybe that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe it's a situation at work that's been building, and you're just like, I am mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Or what was the other one? I was trying to think, oh my God, this smudge is like, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It's going freaking crazy. Whew. I have it in this old ashtray. This smudge is just, well, that's wild that it just sort of, I'm going to have to, hold on. Let me get my water. I don't want to have a fire in here. Where's my little water sprayer? Let's put this out. My hot flash. My hot flash water squirter. Let me not douse the flames, but yeah, douse them. Wow, that's wild. And I could see it like a reflection out of the corner of my eye in my glasses. That smoke, because I'm how far into this reading? I'm a half hour into this reading, and I just lit a little piece like I always do. And all of a sudden, on your reading, Tower shows up and there's smudge. Hope there's not a fire. I hope that's not the case. Really be careful on that. But I just feel like you're just reached the breaking point. You're just done. But I also feel like this King of Cups is very, very helpful, very, very favorable to you. They're there to help you get through this Tower moment. This could be the next job that you're going to. If you get fired or you tell off your boss or whatever it is, this could be the new person that comes in. The new job, the new situation. Or this could be, what was I going to say? There was something else. Well, someone who consoles you, yes. I had another thought about it. For some reason, I lost it here. King of Cups is a lot of times more emotional. Emotionally, he's the emotional person. I got to take a drink of water. I'm choking on the smoke. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I got to drink water. You know, he's more... You need to do a major smudging and cleansing. This person is, you know, emotionally supportive, and they're emotionally mature. So, you know, sometimes I read for people all the time where they have really jerky bosses that behave, you know, throw tantrums and act like assholes, and you got to put up with it. See, this would be not that. This would be somebody who's calm, nice, kind, imaginative, creative. You know, so if it's time to... Oh, that was what I was going to say. If you're going to maybe try to do some fitness things with this 6th house, maybe this is a trainer that you could really, you know, work with, or even a buddy to go walking with or work out with or something like that. But so don't, you know, allow things that want to be removed to let them go, and allow the new coming in the favorable, positive manner that you want. It is still so smoky in here. I can't even... Too much. I gotta fan this away. Oh, sorry. Okay, Aquarius. You're up next. Hey, Aquarius. So this is in your 5th house of creativity, love, and romance. There could be an unexpected pregnancy that's coming through really strong. Even if you thought you were done with that, if you're of the age where you thought, well, I can't get pregnant anymore, yeah, maybe. So don't you know, back off on that birth control if you don't want to have what they used to call a change of life baby. Because that's what used to happen. You know, women would stop menstruating and they'd think, well, I don't have to worry about that anymore, and then get, oh, surprise, you know, guess what? So that feels like that, but maybe the surprise is a great thing. And there could be surprising things with your 5th house of creativity. You could be getting those downloads big time downloads, big time creative insights, problem solving, everything. It doesn't always have to be just about the arts as far as creativity, creative ideas for your life. Okay, let's go ahead. We've got Wheel of Fortune again. Somebody else had that in the cut too. And then something's coming through. Yeah, you know, this could be an actual offer in the real world. We're gonna keep on rocking in the free world. Yeah, so keep on rocking in the free world. So this could be a physical offer, like somebody says, hey, I've got a job for you, or creative opportunity. But if you notice, this card, the cup, the offer, the hand, whatever's being offered, it comes out of a cloud. So a lot of times it's just your own spirit guides, it's just your own higher self, it's just your own connecting with the muse. You know, the 5th house, you could be connecting with the muse. So some kind of big creative idea, some kind of burst, some kind of idea. It doesn't have to be, when I put creative on it, people always think, well, I'm not an artist, maybe, you know. So it doesn't have to be artistic. It could be anything that sparks your interest, a solution to a problem. This is also really standing out to me. I guess it's a jackal. This reminds me of, I just watched recently the 10 Commandments. I have to watch it every year. It's a tradition for going back since I was a kid. It's always on TV. I actually watched it on YouTube, so I don't have to sit through the ads. But I actually watched it on the day that it was airing on TV too, so I could be part of that collective experience for some weird reason. But they had that game in Egypt where they have the sticks and the jackals and the something, and they throw the sticks down. So maybe there's, and this is even, you know, the pharaoh there, duh. So, you know, maybe there is some sort of connection to Egyptian. Maybe it's a museum or Egyptian. Maybe you want to study that, or your creative thing is going to take inspiration through that, or maybe you had a past life there. I mean, I do offer those past life readings too, if you're interested in that. But whatever it is, Wheel of Fortune is being in the right place at the right time. Wheel of Fortune is very Uranian. You know, it's kind of this all of a sudden thing, burst out of nowhere. So it looks like something really good could be coming your way. Be aware and be ready and listening, Aquarius. If you want to get a reading from me, always through my website only, vickieverlie.com, and Rock and Roll Prophetess channel. Well, there's lots of interesting videos to explore, and not only tarot readings, other metaphysical topics and creativity and stuff like that. All right, Pisces, let's take a look here. So this is happening down in your 4th house. Very strong chance that you can move. I was looking, because I've been wanting to move for a few years now. And when I moved into this house was when Uranus was in my 4th house. And here's the thing. It was very kind of miraculous. Everything just fell into place out of nowhere. The guy who I was renting a house for a long time, I just realized I was renting that house for 7 or 8 years. So yeah, it was a Uranian transit big time. I didn't pick that up till just this minute. But I was living there for a long time, and the guy was selling the house, so I had to move. And I was scrambling, and then all of a sudden, my grandmother decided that she was going to downsize and move into a senior community, and I was able to buy my grandmother's house. This was back in '96, and I'd been here 30 years, you know. So, and I was looking at it because different things have gone through. I've been wanting to move for a long time myself, and different things have been going through my fourth house. I go, well, let me go back and look. What triggered? Excuse me. What triggered this move this time? And sure enough, it was Uranus going over my fourth house. So highly likely a move. Other thing that could happen, because Uranus could be these psychological insights, and the fourth house can be your roots, your family of origin. So you could really be getting some major insights and downloads regarding that, you know, understanding where you came from, why things were the way they were, and having peace with it and being able to let it go. All right, let's see here. Pisces, Ace of Cups, nice energy there. And Eight of Cups. This Eight of Cups has come out several times, and it's really not surprising because it is a time of releasing and letting go. I mean, I feel like that's the biggest, two of the biggest key. Release would be one of the big keywords for Uranian transits. So, I mean, this is a journey card. You can absolutely be moving. This confirms that there could be a move. With the Ace of Cups there, it would be maybe something following your dreams. Maybe your dream job, something you really love and you're going to move. Maybe you fall in love with somebody who lives in a different place and you have to move to be with them. You know, it could be like that. But for some people, in some of the other readings I mentioned, oh, this is, you're done with this, you're beating a dead horse, you've been doing it too long, blah, blah, blah. In your case, it feels more of you're being drawn towards something. Typically, this card, she doesn't know where she's going. She just is tired of this, and she wants to look for something else. But with the Ace of Cups, it feels like you know what you're going towards. And it's just been a matter, well, with Saturn going through your house and all this other stuff, you know, it's just been a matter of getting that all together, like tying up those loose ends so that you finally can make this big transition or this big move. For some of you, you might be moving somewhere and like fixing up your house or something like that. For some others, I'm feeling like you might be moving to a warmer climate for some, I'm feeling. Because this sunshine is really like somewhere where it's really sunny. You know, maybe you live in, because we had a brutal winter here in the United States in the Northern Hemisphere this year. Wow, is it brutal. Below zero temperatures, blizzards, you know, it was just... It was one of the worst winters of that for decades. It's really horrible. And I know people, myself, that are just like, you know what, this is it. I'm not going to spend another winter up here. I'm going to go somewhere warm, and I'm going to move where it's warm and pleasant. You know, you're moving on to something where it's pleasant. Let's just put it that way. And it might not be weather. It could be whatever. It could be emotionally. There's definitely a big emotional component. Well, Pisces, everything you do, there's a big emotional component. Who are we kidding here, right? So, Ace of Cups, new beginnings in love, creativity, joy, happiness, and you're going to be moving on from the past and maybe even changing locations, highly likely. Or at least transforming your living space if you don't physically move. Okay, well, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you want to get a personal reading, do head over to my website, but also check out my channel for other videos on spiritual things connected to creativity, manifestation, channeling. I've got a whole bunch of channeling things over on there, excerpts from my channeled books, and downloads and insights, metaphysical insights that I've gotten. So check it out if you're interested. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back soon with the May reading next week. And I'll also be posting the Kentucky Derby reading, but it's going to be on a pay-per-view on Patreon. Because once again, last year I picked the winner, and I think I didn't get any tips, or maybe I got one $5 tip. So it's just like, well, this honor system thing is just not working out for me. So I'm going to do the Kentucky Derby videos I've been doing for several years. I pick the winner a lot, or at least my horse usually is either in the top 3. But I've also told you that there's insights about how like there's big upsets, and then the one horse was eliminated for drugs. I called that. I called the one. I've called a lot of them. You know, there hasn't been a video on the Kentucky Derby I think that I've done in probably 10 years at least now that there wasn't some kind of an insight in there, even if I didn't pick the top horse. So if you're into it and you want to add this extra thing, that'll be coming up too soon, maybe next week as well. I'll talk more about it in the monthly. All right, everybody, have a great Uranus and Gemini. Allow for things to release and let go of, and I'll be back again soon with another reading. Thanks for watching. Bye.